What is going on? Happy Taco and Titty Tuesday. So this is a Beyvox, a Star Wars story update. Yeah, I haven't done anything Beyvox in a while because I've been not really writing, honestly. Like, I've been doing a little bit, I've been working on Endgame, like I've said numerous times, but I've also, been rewatching Avatar Universe, so that's been fun. So, in this update, this is about excerpt number 3. And excerpt number 3 is about Tomas Raven. And, basically it's him at age 20. Okay. He is a pretentious cocksucker. He is really a pretentious cocksucker. Like, what do you mean he's sucking dick? No. He's just an asshole. But there's levels to calling someone a dick. So you go from top. You go from you're being a dickhead, man, to you're being an asshole, dude. You're like, he's just a pretentious cocksucker. Yeah. And if you're really mad at a dude, like, you motherfucking cocksucker. Anyway, so he's 20. He's pretentious cocksucker. He is very vainglorious. He is... Ooh, that was a weird burp. That was weird. He was just like... And so I was like... Anyway. So, he's vainglorious, all that jazz. And it is 4 years before he joined the Sith Council. And in this, you get to see him, and damn it, I thought I was gonna burp. Stuck. You get to meet him and his master, Toshu. That's Toshu. Who the fuck called me? I'll look at that later. Probably a fucking scam artist. You got car insurance. Bitch, I don't drive. Oh, troll! If they ever call, side note, if they ever call you, tell them you don't have any legs and can't drive. They will hang up. Back to the excerpt. So it's about Raven and Toshu. They're on Trandosha for a lesson, and the lesson is subterfuge. And Raven isn't too keen on, learning and stuff. He wants to be on the console so bad, but he can't because they don't see him as worthy of being on the console due to he still has a lot to go through yet before being, part of the inner circle, so to speak. And he it's a learning experience for him. So they're on Trandosha, and one of the things that Toshu taught him gave him two lessons, but one was a task, one was a lesson. One task was to find him a street food vendor that had the best quality meat, and one of the best quality meats happened to be seasoned rat. Yeah, I watch a lot of street vendor food market vids on YouTube, and I actually like them. They're really cool. So that has been incorporated into my work as well. But it's important why it's incorporated. It's incorporated because Toshu teaches Raven a lesson after he wanted Raven to procure the recipe from the vendor's head using the Force, but he didn't get to. He failed at that because the vendor had a strong mind. So as punishment, he was given two choices: apologize or fork over his earnings that he got from a poker game 2 nights ago. So instead of sacrificing his hubris, he forked over his earnings instead. And then the lesson with that is Toshu doesn't trust anything he can't see being made. He only trusts what's in front of his eyes. And, you know, that's the one thing that I like about street vendor food. A lot of people will look up, frown upon it, and like, it's bad, it's nasty. But, you know, it's a way of life. You know, you hunt, kill, eat. Plain and simple. But another big thing on that, not just those three, is also how they prep the food. You can tell from the vendors, a lot of them, they make it with a lot of love. You can see that love as they're making it, especially with the older ones. The older vendors, you can really, really see that. Like, you see them going through the routine and shit. But if they're in their like 70s and whatnot doing this shit, and they take good care of their shit, you can see the love in their craft. And I love that immensely, and I wholly respect that. That is one big thing that I like the most about that. That's why I've incorporated it into the story. So, Raven learned that, and then they went to a bar to, you know, wait. And it was one thing that Raven hates is waiting. He doesn't like to wait around. He likes to jump right into the action. And while they wait, and at one point, a party happens, and it's for a pregnancy landmark between for a Trandoshan family. And Raven is also xenophobic. Fun. Xenophobic and racist. So yeah, that's why I labeled Beyvox thought-provoking and controversial, because it's gonna touch on a lot of shit that's gonna piss everybody off. Because there's a lot of things that, you know, are happening now that are good to reflect on in a story. But it's not. I know somebody's gonna watch it like, it's SJW. Like, no, it's not SJW, you fucking retard. God. Like, no, like xenophobia. Because this Beyvox is set during the Old Republic. Back in the Old Republic days, xenophobia was common. Like, literally, like, you had Circa Corporation enslaving Wookiees and using them for slave labor. I mean, hell, Circa Corp saw every species as basically slave trade. So, there you go. They even have slave trade in, the prequels. Yeah, there you go. So, whatever. Anyway, so, the lesson that Toshu taught Raven was that he had to kill the unborn child in the mom's womb via miscarriage, because that baby was going to grow up and kill him when he was older. When they both grew up, when they got older, that Trandoshan was going to kill him. That's what Toshu told him it was going to happen. And as a result of that, Raven did kill the baby. He did kill the unborn kid. Yeah. And writing that was difficult. It was. Not because of, you know, what was going on, but because it's a dark part of me that I don't really touch on too much, because, I like to stay away from the dark as much as I can. But, like, that particular scene, like, it felt right, and I thought about it months ago, and it was dwelling in my mind and stuff, but I never really, like, thought about it more. I was just like, oh, okay, I'll write it up eventually. But do I want it to be super detailed, or just, you know, like, detailed? And when I say super detailed, I'm like, oh no. But no, with super detail, like, the full scope of it and everything going on. But no, it's just like semi-detailed, so that's why they're excerpts. It's just, you know, little itty-bitty pieces of the story that give you an inside look into the characters' personality and stuff and what they're about. And this really did show me a lot as well, because everything's a learning experience for me. It's fun. But yeah, after Raven killed the kid, they left. Then they went back to Korriban, and Raven was at his window looking out, shamefully masturbating, because it's a humiliation thing with him, and I'll go more into that later in the story with a plot point that explains why he's doing that. Because there's a lot with him to unload. Like, he's got, like, so far, he's evil, he's an asshole. Manipulative. He's got at least 5 layers to start. And he's got dimensions to him that I haven't even discovered yet. Like, I have, like, some stuff about him written down, but I'm not sharing that yet because that's not just yet. I gotta wait a while. But for this excerpt, like, this was really interesting because when he couldn't even finish, he couldn't even come. So Toshu came in and explained to him what really happened. He manipulated Tomas based on his hatred of other species, and the vision he planted in his head was of a Trandoshan with a right fist going through his heart. And he said that was basically getting to the center of the problem. And also the baby he killed, there was truth in that death. The lie was that it was going to kill him when he got older. That was a lie. The truth of it was, it would have grown up to be a pointless future warlord that would have brought the planet into tyranny. So, on one hand, it's horrible, but in the other hand, it's also just as horrible. So, it's the whole rule, like, one life to save billions or whatever. And many arguments over, would you have killed Hitler when he was a baby, knowing what you know now? And all that shit. What was the other one that I brought up? Because like I've said, this story writes itself. I love that so much. I have no plan for the story at all. It just writes itself. There's another point that I brought up. Oh, him killing. That's what it was. Toshu asked Raven, like, what is the one commonality between all the high-ranking Sith? They've all killed someone. They've left death in their wake. So this was Raven's first kill. And having a successful first kill, he graduated from being a neophyte to an apprentice. So now he's an apprentice. So it was a big moment for him at a dark cost. And this is from the Sith perspective. This isn't, the dark side ending of Beyvox. This is the actual story of Beyvox. This is, because, I think I mentioned before that Tomas is a Sith Lord. So this is his early years as a Sith. So you'll see multiple sides of, light side, dark side, back and forth. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Even I'm excited myself whenever I get into it fully. But for right now, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Like, there's so many lessons I've learned personally that I can apply to my work. And it's so nice to do that because it helps me unfold a lot of shit that I've kept hidden for a long time. Just like all my About Me videos that I do. You know, I confront a lot of my shit and own up to it. Speaking of which, I have to make another video about that. Stay tuned. But yeah, I forgot to mention how long. I keep forgetting to do that. It's 5 pages typed with 1,605 words. And I'll put a link in the box so you can check that shit out. So, I will be right back. Stay tuned.